Hi, I just want to bring you some neck exercises to help hold your head up. Oftentimes, when we're sitting, I'm going to show you the side view here, is that we tend to sit rounded. And what that does is it automatically puts our head forward. And when our head is automatically forward, it puts a lot of strain on our neck. And the support of our spine is not sufficient. So anytime you're sitting down, make sure you hip hinge, reaching your hips back, and then sit down. That puts your spine in this nice long position, and your head is balancing on top of it. If you could sit like this or readjust yourself when you notice a forward head position, go ahead and reset your hips because that determines where your head position is. If you're tight in the hips, one of the good stretches is bringing your knee up and then pull your shoulders back, keeping your head aligned with the spine, and then stretch your knee towards your chest. If you stretch it across and a little bit out, it gives the hip some nice range of motion. So go ahead and other side. So if you're rounded, this is not what we're talking about. Making sure you're nice and tall and then pull your knee towards your chest, stretching your hip. Inside, outside, and a little bit of cross. All right. So in standing, if you notice that your forward head position is getting the best of you, it's likely that your hips are forward, and that will make your head match the hips. If I simply just pull my head back, it's not going to work out as balanced, and we're just going to go right back to this position. So the first thing we're going to do is bring your hands on your hips and bring them over your heels and over your forefoot, over your heels and over your forefoot. As you bring your hips back over your heels, I'm going to have you lean your chest forward a little bit. Hips back, chest forward. Hips back, chest forward. Can you see how my head is stacking up on top of my shoulders? But if my hips are forward, my head is going to go forward. So you might notice the head forward, but you may not notice this part of it. So it's important to make sure your hips are underneath your head because your pelvis actually is supporting your spine, which in turn is supporting your head. So that's one of the most important alignment positions. So you want the weight to really be the middle of your foot. So really feel what it feels like to be way back there and way over here, and then try to stand so that the weight is in the middle of the foot. All right. If you want to have a nice dangle with your head, you can use the hip hinge and dangle. So if you let your hands go on the thighs, hinge your hips, and then you can bring your hands to your knees, hinge your hips further, softening your knees like as much as you can. And then you can dangle your head over. Take a breath. If you want to put your elbows there, that's fine. If you want to reach towards the floor, if you've got that mobility, that's fine too. Let your head go. Here you can straighten and bend your knees, letting your head go in between. Straighten your knees. That'll stretch your hamstrings. You can do little circles with your head, but let it be loose and easy. Pushing off your feet. Now to come up, I want you to go slowly. So the first thing you're going to do is lift your head. Take a breath. Push off your feet, come to your knees. You can have a little dangle here if you like, and lift your head. Let your head dangle, a little bit of nod and little rotations, little small ones like a quarter size. Inhale, dangle, push off your knees and your feet, lift the head. It's important to lift the head first so you can strengthen the back of your neck muscles. Then come up to your hands. Here's a squat position. This is very healthy. And then you can lift your head again. Let your head relax and then lift your head, push off your feet to standing. Take another breath. All right, so we're going to move up to the shoulders. So I'm going to get a little closer so you can see me. To reach out and then put your hand behind your head, and reach out and put your other hand behind your head. If you want to clasp your fingers, you're going to reach your elbows out and let your head go back into your hands. Okay, so here's another place where our body wants to move forward, but see if you can push your hands into the back of your head and still keep your hips in the same place. Push your head back, elbows back. You only want to do a few of these at a time. Start with like 3 or 5, and then you can move up to 10 or so. So if your shoulders are shrugging, it's going to crunch the back of your neck. So you want to drop your shoulders down and engage your abdominals so that your hips don't go anywhere. So engage your abdominals, shoulder blades down, and then you can flap them. Wrap your elbows around your face and then open. Do not pull on your neck here. My hands are actually reaching a little bit away from my head in this open position. Engage your abdominals, keep them engaged. Pull your hands away from the back of your head, lean your head back. See if you can do it without moving your hips. And then relax your elbows down, your hands down, and shake them out. This is a great shoulder stretch, so it's important to take your time and make sure that you're not pulling on your head in the least. We want to be very gentle with the back of our necks, especially if we have any neck pain or any issue going on. You never want to pull on your head forward. We want to lengthen and lift. So speaking of lengthening and lifting, you're going to put your hands on your chest. Actually, we're going to just start by a little stimulation of the lymphatic. So you're going to take your fingers like this, little claws, and tap. Ah. You can make a sound if you like. Ah. It's going to get things going. You're going to nod and swallow. And now go ahead and rest your hands on your chest. Take a breath. Take it starting in your belly, up to the middle ribs, all the way up to the upper ribs. Take as much air and then exhale. Let your hands be heavy. Push off your feet, lengthen up. Inhale, feel the chest lifting and lifting your chin. And then chin down and exhale. Push off your feet, lift your chest, lift your chin, stretch. Lower your chin. And this time you're going to lift your chin and stretch one way and the other way. And really stick out your chin and then down. And one more time. Push off your feet, lift your chest. So here's that hips back a little bit. Chin forward. And relax. Okay, so this time you're going to lift your chin and you're going to stretch over to one side and weight shift over the other side and stretch. So your chin is just a little bit up. Stick it out. Okay. So now we're going to work on lifting our head with them lowering our chin. So I'm going to have you clasp your hands like you're you're a little kid watching TV, right? And you're going to lift your chin and lower your chin. And you're going to give the slightest bit of resistance, like hardly at all. But you want to feel the front of your neck working. And you don't want to be in this position, so you want to have your hips under you, back towards your heels, lift your chin and lower. You can use your thumbs, but the whole idea is to have your head over over your hips, not forward. You don't want to strengthen here. You want to strengthen here. So this position requires that this lower neck muscles are working and the upper neck muscles are working, and these deep neck flexors are working. So again, start with about 5 and go through the whole routine, and then you can add a little bit as you go. And you want to be careful until you know how it's going to affect you. So you want to let your symptoms guide you and be very gentle with the motions. One last stretch is stretching your hands out and then bending your elbows to your side and facing your hands out. You can start with an overhead reach, hips back, overhead reach, elbows down. Keep those hips back. Face your hands out and spread those fingers wide. Take a breath, draw the elbows into your sides, and that'll stretch the front of your shoulders. You can go in a doorway stretch. Again, you want your hips behind you as you stretch through the doorway. Engage your abs. And what that'll do is it'll stretch the front of your neck a little bit. So you don't want to be in this position. You want to keep nice and tall, elbows to the sides, and then open the chest. Be careful of reaching your neck forward. You'll find this this game between your hips and your neck is a crucial alignment point to improve your posture no matter what you're doing. All right. You have a great day, and I hope you try these out. Let me know how they go. Michelle Wald, New Paradigm Wellness. www.michellewald.com. Hope to see you soon.